So, we finally got our teams trying to reach the World Series, or at least teams in the championship series right now, as the Cardinals and the Nationals are in the National League Championship Series, and of course the Yankees and the Astros in the American League Championship Series. So, let's talk about it. And first, we'll start off with the game that is beginning on Friday with the Nationals and the Cardinals. So, both of them won their respective series in 5 games, and both of them were away in that last game. But that's not the case anymore, as the Cardinals are taking home field advantage for this series, and if they show up like they did in Game 5, other teams should be scared, because I think they could win the World Series if they play like they did in Game 5. But if the Nationals on the other side keep doing what they're doing, they can make the run at the World Series. But the difference between the two teams, in my opinion, it's like the Mets and the Cubs in 2015, where I personally think the Cubs could have won the World Series if they got hot and had a chance, or Mets, I just didn't think had enough talent to do it. Which in this case scenario, I think the Nationals are the Mets and the Cardinals are the Cubs. But it really all comes down to who will have the bigger chip on their shoulder. And while the Nationals have pitchers galore and Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, and Patrick Corbin, with also, of course, top 3 MVP player Anthony Rendon, and probably more than likely future MVP winner Juan Soto. But the Cardinals also have Jack Flaherty and Adam Wainwright to contribute their pitching, and their bullpen's top level and one of the best in the league. While also having Yadier Molina and Paul Goldschmidt, and this is exactly why the Cardinals got Paul Goldschmidt in the first place, as they needed him for this postseason run. He's the one that's supposed to come up clutch. So hopefully that turns out well and Goldschmidt can help them reach that World Series. Also, of course, you have the luck of the Cardinals, as they always find some magical way and always have a little magic in them to somehow win. And no one ever expects it to happen, but it happens. The problem for me is one team has more questions than the other. And, of course, I'm talking about the Nationals, as their depth and bullpen are 2 huge question marks. And the bigger worry of those 2 for me is the bullpen, because that's October baseball pretty much. You have to rely on that bullpen. And if your bullpen's a question mark, you're in deep trouble. I still think this series will be a tough one, and I really honestly don't know who is going to win. But since I have to pick someone, I gotta choose the Cardinals, because I trust their bullpen more, and honestly, I have them winning in 5 games. Alright, now it's time for the matchup everybody has been waiting for since opening day of this year, since the start of the MLB playoffs, since forever pretty much. It's the matchup of the freaking century. And of course, it's the Yankees and the Astros. With the Astros being at home for the start, they had the home field advantage, which should be a huge payoff for them, as home field advantage just makes a big difference in the playoffs, as the atmosphere is just so much different, and people yelling and screaming at the edge of your seat the whole time, and it's just fun. That's why October baseball is the best baseball. And this matchup is absolutely stacked. And way more than likely, the team that wins this will win the World Series. And probably in 4 or 5 games. This American League Championship Series is more than likely going to be more interesting than the World Series. And honestly, if they don't win it, everybody and their mother will be surprised. So let's talk about these rosters that everybody is going berserk over. So we'll start with the Astros. We have the 3 stars in Justin Verlander, Jarrett Cole, and Zach Greinke, with also Wade Miley and Brad Peacock, who more than likely won't see a start, but they will get a bunch of bullpen time in there. And when you got a key, really good starter, just putting work in the bullpen as well, my gosh, that's just set up for really good pitching. It's not even count that their bullpen's probably top in the league anyways to begin with. So you start adding the starting pitchers into the bullpen that's already number 1 in the league. That's just crazy to me. And then, of course, you got the roster with Jose Altuve, former MVP, who had a better season this year than his MVP year. Just look at the numbers. You can tell it definitely was. And then you also got George Springer, Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Yordan Alvarez, and Kyle Tucker has the potential to have a postseason breakthrough just like Kyle Schwarber did for the Chicago Cubs in 2016. And if he broke through, my gosh, this team's scary. And honestly, I think this Astro team is 10 times better than the team that won that World Series in 2017. But, of course, their competitor has gotten better as well, as the Yankees can match their pitching with Luis Severino, James Paxton, J.A. Happ, Masahiro Tanaka, and with their star power, it's quite arguably better than the Astros, with Aaron Judge, Stanton, Edwin Encarnacion, Gary Sanchez, DJ LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, Brett Gardner, and Didi Gregorius. My gosh, and do I remind you, Didi Gregorius is going off in the postseason. And, oh yeah, you have the 2016 playoff hero for the Chicago Cubs that's on the Yankees now, and Aroldis Chapman. So, have fun with that. So, you can see this series is the one to watch, and it's going to be something special. And this is the hardest series to choose for me. And honestly, it's really up for grab, and it's going to be whoever can hit better. But it's going to be like the Astros World Series run once again, where when the Astros and Dodgers played in the World Series, the games were just going back and forth. And it's going to be special to watch. But if I had to choose someone, I would have to choose the Astros just because of home field advantage. And this series is going to go to 7 games, more than likely. So, what do you guys think? And are you ready for big October baseball to begin? Of course, we already had some begin with the Dodgers being eliminated early. Plus, what do you guys think of the playoffs so far? And who do you guys think will make it through the next round? And who do you guys think will win the World Series? And of course, make sure to leave a suggestion for a new video down in the comments below. And who knows, your suggestion may just be the next video. And thanks for watching, everybody. Of course, make sure click on the links down below for my Instagram, Twitter, get the Discord. If you want to give me money for Patreon, that's down there too. You get exclusive stuff for that. And make sure, of course, to make sure you are weaving through every day just like it is your last.